Hi, this is Bill Brennan with CMR Risk, and I'm here today with Carrie Rostron of our Workers' Compensation Division. Hey, Carrie.
Hey.
Good to see you. She is our resident expert with all things workers' compensation. So today we wanted to just talk about kind of the ongoing pandemic issues and COVID-related outbreaks. So Carrie, over the last 30 to 45 days, what have you seen with regard to our employers calling in?
It's unfortunate. I've seen a huge uptick. For a while there, we had a period of time where I wasn't getting very many calls. I'm fielding them daily now. So I always say when the phone's ringing, it's not good news when it relates to COVID.
And what are employers calling about?
Specifically, I'm getting a lot with outbreaks. So they have an employee who tests positive, they've been on the job site, and they've been around other employees. And employers, there's so many requirements in California, they just don't know what to do to be compliant.
Maybe can you touch base a little bit on that? What are some kind of key requirements if there is an outbreak for an employer?
Yes, so reporting requirements, first of all, within one business day, you need to notify everyone that was exposed. Second, if you have 3 or more employees that test positive, within 14 days, you're going to have to notify the public health department. They put a 48-hour requirement on that, so it's really important that you stay on top of that as an employer. In addition to that, you're going to need to report all positive cases to your insurance carrier, your workers' compensation insurance carrier. And if anyone at any point alleges that their exposure was due to work, you're also going to have to report a workers' compensation claim.
In terms of employee testing, what is an employer's responsibility if there's an outbreak for employees in general?
So the state has put the burden back on the employer. They need to test everyone that was exposed to COVID-19 for 2 weeks minimum, and you're going to want to do 1 time per week, and you have to continue to do that until all your employee base that was exposed come back negative.
Okay. You know, a big issue is vaccination versus non-vaccinated employees. Can an employer require that their employees are vaccinated?
Yes. So to answer your question, you as an employer can ask if your employee was fully vaccinated. To actually require the vaccination is a whole separate issue. We're still seeing some legality around that, but you can definitely ask. The Department for Fair Housing and Employment has said that an employer can ask employees, and you can actually document that they were vaccinated. Obviously, that's considered confidential information, so you'll want to house that as such on the employer side in your HR department.
Is it safe to say, you know, that the law and regulations are a little ambiguous, so maybe talk to your labor attorney as well?
Absolutely.
Because this is not a clear-cut solution. Okay.
And that's part of what we've been doing in our resource base. Is a lot of these questions are employment-based, so we want to make sure that employers are doing the right thing. So we do have a labor attorney on hand that we're utilizing to help field those questions, because
great.
It is so different.
It's very complicated.
Yes.
Yeah. Does an employer have to record COVID-19s in their OSHA logs?
I get that question a lot, especially with our construction-based employers, and the answer is yes, if it meets the normal requirements and it's work-related. One big thing I get questioned about is days away from work. That is something that quarantine does not count against an employer for that, so you just want to make sure to take that in consideration when you're looking at your OSHA 300 log.
Okay. What do you recommend ultimately for a COVID-19 management plan for our viewers here today?
Resources. You absolutely need resources. You need a second set of eyes to look at, make sure that you're compliant with everything that the state is requiring of you. You want to make sure also to stay in communication with your staff. I think the more communication your staff has, the better. They feel more comfortable, they feel taken care of. You want to make sure that you're compliant with all the emergency temporary standards that have been put in place by OSHA. And I think by doing all of those things as an employer, you're going to have a better outcome too. Less outbreaks, less employee confusion when something does happen. So I would say resources.
That's great advice. And I would piggyback on communication. I think communication is so critical with employees, just to keep people at ease. Well, I appreciate your time. You know, I think your nickname now is COVID Carrie, because about 75% of your time is dealing with this. I don't mean to joke. It's a serious problem, and we keep thinking it's going to go away, and it just continues. So I encourage you to jump on our link, give us a call, talk to your broker. It's really important to get a handle on this. Thank you.